Hi everyone, we're at Southwest Rocks and it is blowing its arse off. Big time. So, I've always said I'm not a fan of induction cooking. There's Ros and Rafa. Gidgey's gone over to his car to grab some. I always said I was never a fan of induction cooking. Well, when you get bloody wind like this, I've got some beautiful big rib fillets on and I've got the induction cooker out. Because I tell you now, if I was trying to cook on gas now, it would not work. So I've got the induction cooker on, doing up 3 big rib fillets for me, Ros and Gidgey and Rafa. Got some bacon to go on. We've got a bit of a bloody salad thing too, so something easy. But I'm so glad I got that induction cooker for times like this. Good morning everyone. Here we are at Horseshoe Bay at a place called Southwest Rocks in New South Wales. Absolutely beautiful place. The wind was off tap yesterday afternoon, but what a cracking morning. We're staying in the Horseshoe Bay Caravan Park, which is over that way there, and there's beautiful boardwalks and oceanside walks. Absolute cracking view. People out having an early morning swim. That's not for me. Not hot enough yet for a swim for me. But yeah, so taking Rafa for an early morning walk. It's about 6:30. So I'm gonna get back soon and put the billy on, have a morning coffee, and we might sit down and look out to the ocean. And yesterday afternoon, me, Ros and Gidgey and Rafa, we sat down and we're having a drink in our camp chairs looking out, and there were about 4 or 6 whales breaching the water out there and having a hell of a time. It was just fantastic sitting down watching the whales breach on their way back down to Antarctica. Absolutely fantastic. Righto, Raf, let's keep walking. Well, here we are everyone at the Trial Bay Gaol, which was built by convicts. So we're going to go in, do the tour, and I'll tell you a bit about it. Last time we were here we couldn't go in because this is National Park and Rafa wasn't allowed. So anyway, we'll go in, we're going to do the tour. It's only about 12 bucks or something, $14. Watch a little video, they tell you all about it. But yeah, built by the convicts back in the day. Let's go in and find out a bit about it, eh? So the bit about the convicts, everyone, I just made that up. I had no idea what I was talking about. This was after the convict days. It was built for prisoners, not convicts, prisoners. Back in the day, 1886, they started sending prisoners in here, and the prisoners were brought in to earn money and to work for their rehabilitation, to build a big breakwater wall out at the ocean there. So they had a deep water harbour between Brisbane and Sydney. Took them 10 years to get about 250 metres of break wall, and they wanted 1,500, and they just realised the storms and the elements, they just weren't going to get it done. So the prisoners were brought in here to build the breakwater. 1915, with World War I, about 500 people that were living here of German heritage were interned here at Trial Bay Gaol because obviously of World War I. And they were guarded by Australian soldiers till 1918, and then they were transferred to Holsworthy, and then it basically just was left to the elements. But in the 1960s, a trust took over and to look after the thing and heritage list it and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's got a bit of history, this. The prisoners brought in to build a big breakwater wall, which didn't happen, and then it housed German people during World War I. We'll go in and have a look at the cells and that, eh? So this prison, back in those days, they were all built very, very similar. Jeff Pollard, if you are watching. Stewart Prison, Bogger Road, all built with wings. You've got the big central area you walk in, and then they have wings that go off. And that's what they call a wing. And you'd have 2 stories. The old Stewart Prison was very, very similar. As I said, all the prisons were modelled off the old British prisons back in the day. So that would have been A wing maybe. Got a courtyard out there. And this would have been B wing maybe. or cell block A, okay, the other way around. And there's all your cells there. Bottom, top. Prison screws would have stood here. Open the doors up in the morning at unlock. Everyone stands by their cell door. You do a head count. Call their name, make sure they're all accounted for, all in good health, no one self-harmed during the night. And once everyone's accounted for, you let them go about their day. Righto, Curtis, get in your cell, you little shit. Lock him in. Righto, this is one of the cells, everyone, as you can hear the echo. I'll tell you what, the cells these days, not much bigger, probably smaller. And we double them up, so they would have had a couple of prisoners to a cell. Not sure if they would have had beds or not, whether they slept on a mattress on the floor. I'm not quite sure. Even the modern prison I used to work in, guys, in Townsville, very similar setup. Come into a unit, you'd have an upper level, bottom level. Obviously there was flooring up there, stairs that went up to the top cell and a veranda that went all the way around. They'd have to come down a staircase or whatever. Hey, it would be good to go back in time and see how things were done back in those days. I'm sure the prison screws back then probably ran it not much different to the way we did. Doing head counts 4 times a day, 4 or 5 times a night, shining their torches in the cells at night, making sure the prisoners are still there and haven't hung themselves on the bars or whatever. Yeah, very, 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 very similar. Yeah, so this is the old kitchen area here where prisoners would have been taught how to cook and cooked up to 120 meals for the prisoners. This side here is the old bakehouse where they would have baked bread. So they would have been all taught. A lot of them already had good skills and all that from their life before they became prisoners. But there's an old, how's that for a good old oven? And this side's the butcher shop where they used to make sausages and cut the meat up and everything. There's plenty of room here for them to exercise and all that. I don't know if they used to let them out around here. Probably did. Let them have their exercise time. I mean, they were always out working, building the break wall and all that type of stuff. So I'm pretty sure being working type prisoners, they would have been allowed a bit more freedom during the day with inside here. But yeah, this is where the medical centre was, and they call it the silent cells. We would have called it probably the detention unit, where all the naughty boys went, the padded cells, if they were trying to self-harm and that. Don't know if they had padded cells back in those days. I'm pretty sure they didn't. The silent cells, that would have been for your Curtis Cubbies and people like that who were always naughty. When the Trial Bay Gaol was built, guys, it was 40 stonemasons, so it's all out of granite. It's not limestone or sandstone. Sandstone, it's all granite. Next they had stonemasons, cut all the big blocks and that was the old hospital there, or the medical centre. I'll show you a picture of what it used to look like. There's one of the guard towers up there. And that's what it looked like back in the day. Yeah, so what they used to call the silent cells back in the old jail days is what we called in the modern days the DU, or the detention unit. And it was always separated from your main accommodation areas up there. They were always down the back corner, all the naughty in the naughty corner. I'll go in, I won't talk when I get in there because it's a bit bloody echoey, guys, but yeah, isolation cells or detention unit. There's a story in here, one bloke complained about the food and he got 7 days. And that's what we used to do, unless they were on a safety order. Anyone who's stuffed up, getting in a fight, telling the screw to go and you know what himself and all that type of stuff, insubordination, you get anywhere from 1 to 7 days in the detention unit. We'll go in and show you. So basically they call it isolation in some other prisons. Hey, when I get in here, there's a device where we used to have a similar thing, but it got outlawed. We used to time self-harming people, be able to strap them to a stand-up mattress so they couldn't self-harm. Well, this ain't a mattress, it's just a rack. So I'm pretty sure they probably just belted people to it so that they couldn't self-harm or be too violent. All right, we'll go in and give you a look at the DU, eh? There's the little peepholes, so they... Can you look in there? It is Michael Jackson in there. See if we can see that. It looks like Michael Jackson, doesn't it? So yeah, this is the detention unit. And there's that. I'm tipping this item here. They used to strap them to that, so they, if they were playing up or being violent, maybe, that's what I'm tipping. They had a nice view from up here, that's for sure. So we're just going up to one of the old guard towers. There's one of the wings in there. Looking out at the Pacific Ocean. Oh yeah. How are you? That would have been the break wall that they tried to build back in the day, everyone. They wanted it 1,500 metres, 1.5 kilometres long, and they only got 250 metres. With all that rock, storms and everything, they just couldn't get on top of it. And they were going to make a harbour here for all the ships between Sydney and Brisbane, because it's a nice deep harbour. So that's the only remaining bit of the break wall that the prisoners were trying to build. Never got off the ground. Well, it got off the ground, but it didn't get too far. 10 years of trying and it failed. Imagine being in those cells in a bloody middle of winter and a big storm, the rain blowing in through those windows. You couldn't close the windows back in those days. That rain and the wind would have gone straight in there. Would have got some sort of protection from the wall, I guess. But still, especially the guys on the top floor, they would have got blasted during storms and that. Pretty hard days back then, eh? Didn't pay to go to prison, that's for sure. Hey folks, there's the Trial Bay Gaol. Just a quick look around. Mike and John, you can see here how they spell jail the old English way, G-A-O-L, not J-A-I-L, using the King's English. That's the outside of Trial Bay Gaol. Worth a visit, guys, if you ever come around to Southwest Rocks. It's not too dear to get in. It's certainly worth having a look around. Hey, if you hear me puffing, guys, I just had to put it into bloody me legs, that is, low range first gear, and use the reduction gears to get up here. I'm at the Smoky Point Lighthouse. It's a yacht out there. I'll tell you what, she's a steep little walk to get up here too, just quietly. That rock out there. Stunning views. Don't tell the cockroaches I said this, but I'll tell you what, their state's beautiful. Bloody beautiful beaches. Yesterday, coming down through Dorrigo, some of the best country scenery I've ever seen. Cattle and sheep country, just incredible. Look at that. As far as the eye can see, white sandy beach all the way around to that other head there. A lot of things called head down here. Hat Head, Broom's Head, Red Head, and there's some other heads that I won't mention on this forum that relate to New South Welshmen, but I won't say it on here, everyone. I think you know what I mean. But yeah, a lot of these points here all end in head. Something Head, Hat Head, all that. Smoky Point Lighthouse, here we are. And you can do a tour up to the top of the lighthouse. One Saturday every month, I think, there's a little tour. I don't think you'd see that much extra up there that you don't see from here, but look at the scenery, everyone. Incredible, it really is. There's your yacht right out there. Wow. And the beach there, my goodness. Righto. First gear low range getting down again. Ross said, you go up. She said, I ain't walking up there. It's steep. Even Gidgey said yesterday, he said, gee whiz, that was a steep little climb getting up there. Get your puffing, it's good. Makes you work for it. Tell you what, how good's this? Smoky Cape, Lighthouse Cottages, bed and breakfast. Sleep 6, 3 bedrooms. You come up here with a group of people and spend a long weekend and have a look, have a coffee in the morning, looking out to that. Incredible. Well, me, Ros and Gidgey and Rafa had just come out for a drive to a place called Scott's Head, everyone. We were here a couple of years ago. We remembered the place. Remember that, the hill over there. Ros and Rafa. Yeah, Scott's Head. A little bit windy again this afternoon. About a 40-minute drive out here from Southwest Rocks, but another cracking beach. Have a look at that. As I said, everywhere you go along here, this New South Wales coast, you're greeted with scenery like this, everyone. It is magnificent, it really is. Rafa said, guess what, everyone? He said, no dogs allowed on this beach between 8:30 and 5:30. He said, but guess what? He said, I can't read signs, so I'm going down anyway. That's something you don't see up at home, guys, is surf. Great Barrier Reef cuts all the surf off up in North Queensland. I'll tell you what, we don't get a lot of beaches as nice as this either, I must admit. This bloody magnificent. We want to go swimming there at the moment. She's windy and choppy. Very nice. Scott's Head, New South Wales. I have no idea what Gidgey is doing, everyone, but he's just adopted the lying unsupported position, and I'll laugh if a friggin' wave come in and got him. He's doing some sort of photography on his phone. Good morning, everyone. Well, the wind has finally gone away. 2 days are getting blown away. We've got a beautiful morning. Horseshoe Bay at Southwest Rocks. Nice light breeze this morning. Hopefully it'll stay like this all day. Rafa said, g'day everyone. He said, me and Uncle Kenny and Dad have come for a drive out to a place called Crescent Head. I just saw these things. Like a bloody, I don't know what they are. They look like a big pineapple. Yeah, Crescent Head. So we just came for a drive. Ros is getting her nails done back at Southwest Rocks. So me and Ken decided to come for a drive out to Crescent Head. I'll tell you what, a beautiful looking place it is too. Some magnificent homes up there. Look at that. Golf course, driving range, whatever it is. Anyway, we're going to walk up onto the top of this. I think this may be Crescent Head here. Phil Taylor, help me out. Is that Crescent Head up there? Yeah, wind. Sorry. I nearly took out a little girl on a scooter. There, so wind's picking up a bit, but nowhere near as bad as yesterday. It was off tap. Anyway, we'll turn the camera back on when we get up the top there. It'll be a bit windy. We'll see how we go. Rafa said, I feel like a mountain goat, everyone. We're not at the top yet, but I just wanted to get that view for you. Hopefully it's not too windy, everyone, but look at that, just magnificent. Don't tell the cockroaches I said this, but they got a beautiful state, they really have. The coastline of New South Wales, I just keep saying it, it just keeps delivering. Right, I think what we're on now is Little Nobby. Ken's zooming in at the moment. There's a pot of dolphins out there playing. Oh, a couple of them in close actually. Wow, just GoPro won't pick it up. Yeah, so Little Nobby Hill at Crescent Head. I think I got that right. Didn't come here on a couple of years ago when we came down. I don't remember this, so yeah, very nice indeed. Little memorial coming back down the hill, guys, to a Matthew Brown. Matty, 1982 to 2017, gone surfing. His family's obviously done a little memorial for him, little solar lights. 1982, it's the year I joined the army, guys. I was 17. Dear oh dear, too young, isn't it? Anyway, Matty's family, I hope you see this one day. Rest in peace, mate. What a beautiful spot, guys. This is right near the Crescent Heads and Kempsey Surf Lifesaving Club, which is just over there. Little inlet here. Little footbridge. I'll show you the other side, but what a great spot to come if you've got young kids in that. Incredible. Over here, oh mate, floating down the creek with his dog on the paddleboard, little dog down there. Kids over there playing on the sandbank, beautiful clean water. Wow, fantastic. People having a fish off the bridge. That's what it's all about, eh? This was Australia's all about, just getting outdoors and doing stuff like this. Righto, we are at a little place called Hat's Head. It's like a little inlet here, it's a beautiful little beach. It'd be great if you got young kids or whatever here. Top little beach here. It's the inlet where the boats come in, and that goes all the way down there. I don't know how far down it goes, but yeah, not a bad little spot at all. Righto, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to go to a little Thai cafe tonight, or Thai restaurant. Ross said, nah, I don't feel like leaving the van, so here we are. The weatherman said, beautiful and fine today, and we've got bloody thunderstorms looming around. We've already had bolts of lightning out to sea. Hopefully it's going to miss us, because the weatherman said it would. And I hope it does, because I'm doing a tailgate cook-up at the moment, everyone. On my little maple fire or maple flame, whatever it's called, in the old cast iron frying pan. Yeah, just some sausages. I've got some bacon there that's been in the fridge, and I've got a couple of beef skewers from the butcher, the local northwest, south. Where are we, Ken? Southwest. I forgot me directions. Southwest Rocks. Northwest. I thought I was back in Queensland. Thought I was in Corumba. Anyway, some beef kebabs, skewers, whatever you want to call them, some bacon and some sausages. And we're going to have them on some bread, guys. That's a nice simple meal tonight.